Hello and welcome to a new video from Byte Analytics. In this video, I wanted to do a quick demo of the recent announcement of the date picker, which is gaining popularity. It's one of those announcements which everyone has welcomed and it's been long overdue. So we've seen a lot of posts and excitement around this date picker on LinkedIn and other YouTube channels, but I thought I'd create a very short video to show you what this is like in practice. So here I am in my AdventureWorks DW file in Power BI. Currently, I have a slicer which has got the full date alternate key. It's just a date field and it's in the slicer. So currently I can select a particular date range. I can select the start date and I can select the end date as well, which works fine. But from a user's point of view, often our users require a bit more flexibility, and sometimes our users say we want dates within the last 30 days, or we want the report to look at the last 10 days or the last 7 days. And that's something which this particular slicer did not accommodate up to now. And there is a feature already in Power BI whereby you can do this, but it sits inside the filter pane. So let me show you that. If I open up the filter pane, you can see I have the full date alternate key here. And if I drop that down, I can switch between the relative date picker and the basic date filtering as well. So if I go to relative, now I'm able to select in the last or in the next X number of days, weeks, calendar weeks, months, calendar months, years or calendar years. And that's fine when it comes to the filter pane, but sometimes we don't really want our users to have the overhead of going into the filter pane to make this change. This should be quite a relatively simple feature in Power BI itself. So what people like myself have done in the past is created custom solutions whereby they've used bookmarks maybe to create another calendar picker, or they've used offsets from the date dimension to revert to the latest period, i.e. -1, -2, and that way the report was always looking at the latest data regardless of what dates were selected here. So there has been workarounds with the date selections in the past, but the good news is since the release of the new date picker, we are now able to do that natively and quite easily in an intuitive way within Power BI itself. So let's start by showing you how we enable this. It's a preview feature, so if you come over to File, Options and Settings, Options, let's go down to Preview Features, and if you scroll to the bottom, you will see the Date Picker slicer to set relative and manual date ranges. So currently not ticked. Let me show you what happens without that actually. So at the moment, if I go into my slicer settings, you will see the options I have are vertical list, tile between, before, after, drop down, relative date and time. There's no date picker in here at the moment. So let's go back into options and settings and enable the feature. Let's go into preview features all the way to the bottom. There we go, we've enabled that, and now let's click on OK. Now let's just restart Power BI. So I'm going to save what I have here, and I'm going to restart and open my Power BI file again. Here we are. Let's click on our date slicer again. Let's go over to the format pane. And this time, within the slicer settings, you will notice the date picker option. If I zoom in for you there, it's just there for you. The date picker option is now available. So if I select that, you will see that the calendar, the slicer changes ever so slightly. You don't have a selection of the start and end date visible straight away, but you do have the same bar available. But if I click on the little icon here, you now get the same calendar picker, but this works much better than before. So I can now select a date range just from clicking on the selected date. So if I click on the 1st of December and then click on the 31st, I've now selected that date range and I can hit apply. That date range is now selected, and if I want to select a single day, I can do the same. So I can click on a particular day specifically, and in order to enable this, once you're using this, it will become more evident, but you just click it twice to tell Power BI that you just want to select a single day, and that's relatively easy as well now. So remember, if you want to highlight a date range, click on a date, go over to the date, the end date, and click on the end date, and that will automatically select your date range. The added feature now is that you will notice we have the manual and the relative date selection just there. So if I come back out of that, I now have the ability to switch over from manual date selection into the relative date selection. And this is the extremely powerful feature now. We have this natively, so I can select in the last, in this, or in the next period. I can select the number, the offset number, and whether it needs to be in months, years, weeks, days, calendar periods, and within the last date or the first date. I can still use offsets to control that, so I can use offset by 1 or 2 or any other number and hit apply. So as I said, up until now, we were probably developing custom solutions to cater for this, but as of the latest update, Power BI has made date selection much more intuitive and easier for the user base. So now when your users say they always want to look at the latest data available, you no longer have to go in and manually select the latest period. You can simply select in the last month and hit apply, and the data will automatically roll forward and your report will automatically represent the latest data. So that's a quick video on the date picker visual, which has been announced recently. I hope that was useful for you. See you in the next video.